Hello everyone, this is Steve Blay. I'm the founder of Advanced Poker Training and OmahaPokerTraining.com. Whether you're watching this video on APT or OPT, I wanted to tell you a little bit today about our new custom private games feature. This is going to let you set up custom private cash games, well, ring games, play money ring games, or tournaments, multi-table tournaments, or sit and go tournaments for you and your friends to play in. One of the reasons we add this is we got a lot of requests from people who unfortunately were having to host their games on real money poker sites. And there were some problems with that. Number one, when their friends went to set up an account, it was asking them for all kinds of personal information. And also their friends had to download software to their computer for this real money poker site, and they didn't know if that software was installing something malicious, something that was monitoring them. On APT and OPT, all your friends need to give is a name and an email address to set up a free account, and they can play in your private game. And there's no software to download because our software plays right in the browser. So whether they're using Google Chrome or Safari or Firefox or whatever, our poker game plays right in the browser with nothing to download. So it's a great option for you and your friends to be able to get together and play poker together. And I'm going to get right into that here and show you how it would look from your friend's perspective when they come to our site, and also how to set up this private game of your own. So let's get right into that. So let's look at this from the point of view of your friends or coworkers or whoever you're going to play poker with. They come to our website and they just click this Start Training button. They just have to enter their name, their email address, and a password. And then they get taken to the member page here where they press this button that says Private Live Games. Now that's going to take them right over to the live server, and as you can see here, if you created a ring game, they're going to be on this tab. They're all in alphabetical order. All they have to do is find your game by the name you gave them. They double click on it. They enter the password you gave them. And then they're taken to the table where they can click on any seat and sit down and bring some chips to the table and play poker with you. Now, there's been some questions about the amount of chips players get. Every player gets 10,000 chips every day just for logging in. So you really shouldn't have any problem with people running out of chips unless you created a table with really high blinds. But in general, people aren't going to have any problems with running out of chips, and we give them 10,000 extra chips every day. If you created a tournament, those would be over on this tab here. Same kind of process. They just need to find the tournament in the list here. They're in alphabetical order. And then to join the tournament, they click this register button, which is down in the bottom right corner. Again, it's going to ask them, do you want to buy in? And it's going to ask them for the password. The sit and go tab is over here. Same kind of process. They just need to find your sit and go in the list, click the register button, and then pay the entry fee, enter the password, and then just wait for the table to fill up and the sit and go will start automatically. So after you've played your tournament or ring game, how do you look at your results? How do you see who the long-term winners and losers are in your tournament or ring game? Go back to the member page here and you'll see there's a link for live game results. Click on that and you'll see at the top of this page you're going to see the cash games. If you have any of those set up, there will be a row for each table, and when you click on this results button, you'll see you're taken to a page that shows everyone that's played at your cash game and their total buy-ins, total cash outs, and the net won or lost. And you've got a little drop down over here. You can look at this for all time, or for the last 24 hours, or last week, month, whatever. Okay, going back to this other page. So the cash games are at the top. Below that, you've got a list of all the MTTs and sit and goes in which you've played. And same kind of thing here. It's going to tell this, for this one, there will be a row for each different sit and go or each multi-table tournament every time you play it. So if you play a sit and go over and over again, there will be one row for each time you played it. The results here at the end, you click on this results button. It will tell you who the winners were and how much they won. And there's a replay button here to actually watch a replay of any hands in which you participated in. The replay is not yet available for cash games, at least at the time of the recording of this video. And I keep saying cash games, but of course these are play money cash games. There's no real money at stake here. So to start the process of setting up a private game, you want to go to the social menu here and click on this link that says Custom Game Setup. And when you click that, you'll get taken to this form over here. Please read the rules up here at the top. In a nutshell, we do not monitor these games. Please don't ask us to intervene if you think that someone was colluding with another person at your table or someone was being abusive in the chat window. These are private games you're setting up, and we're not getting involved in them in any way. So let's move on to the form down here. Enter your email. Your email is probably already in there if you're logged in. And then pick what type of game. If you want a cash game, a ring game, a multi-table tournament, or a single-table sit-and-go tournament. I'm going to start with the cash game here, and below you can see pretty typical options. None of these should be that difficult for you to set up. Pick what blinds you want, pick the minimum number of chips you can buy in with, the maximum number of chips a player can buy in with. Hopefully most of you know what a straddle bet is. If you don't, you can Google that. We only allow straddle from under the gun. We've had a lot of questions about, do we allow button straddle and things. Right now we only allow under the gun straddle, but you can check this box if you want to allow a straddle bet. The sit-out minutes is how long a player can be sitting out at your table before they are automatically picked up from the table and their seat is vacated so someone else can sit down. Seconds to act. That's how much time each person has before their hand will be folded when it's their turn to act. And a time bank. Again, any of you that have played online, you probably know what a time bank is. It's a bonus amount of time you get when you're facing a really tough decision. Your time bank gets reset back up to 60 seconds every 50 hands. And that applies for cash games and for tournaments. And then down here you can pick the game type, whether you want to play No Limit Hold'em, Pot Limit Omaha, or a mixed game, which would have one round of No Limit Hold'em followed by a round of Pot Limit Omaha. The number of seats at the table, maximum of 10, whatever you like there. And then down here you pick a game name. Just call your game something recognizable so your friends can find it. One thing to note here, you'll notice it says, to modify a game you previously created, enter the exact same game name here and it will overwrite your previous settings. So if you set up a ring game or a tournament or a sit and go and you want to change one of the settings, let's say you started your tournament with a starting stack of 1,000 chips and you want to make that 2,000 chips, just go back and recreate the game right here, enter the exact same name, and it will overwrite the game you previously created. No one else can overwrite your game, only you can overwrite a game once you've set it up. And pick a password for your game that will keep other people out. So you're going to share this password with your friends, so don't pick something crazy. I would pick something very simple, easy to remember. Maybe not as easy as poker, or other people may guess it, but something pretty easy for you and your friends to remember. Don't pick a crazy, bank account style password with semicolons in it and numbers and uppercase letters, because the password is case sensitive. So something pretty simple here. So let's go back up again now, and this time I'm going to cover the multi-table tournament settings. And again, this is not going to be very complicated here. You pick a date and time for your tournament right here. All times are Eastern time. You decide if you want this tournament just to run once, or every day, or every week. Rebuys down here. If you want to have a tournament that allows rebuys, you can select how many rebuys people are allowed here. They're only allowed to rebuy when their chip stack goes all the way to 0. I know there's some card rooms that allow you to rebuy anytime you have less than a starting stack, but in our server here, you have to have no chips left before you can rebuy. Rebuy levels is how many blind levels they are allowed to rebuy for. So if you have 10 minutes per blind level and you put 6 here, that means people will be able to rebuy for the first hour of the tournament. And by the way, you can leave these all as zeros if you don't want to allow rebuys, and the same goes with the add-on here. Just leave it as 0 if you don't want to allow an add-on. I think hopefully most people know what an add-on is. At the end of the rebuy period, there will be an option for players to add this many chips to their stack as an add-on. If you leave it as 0, it won't happen, but if you put 5,000 here, at the end of the rebuy period, people will be able to have the option to add 5,000 more chips to their stack. And both the rebuys and add-ons cost the same as the original number of chips they paid to enter the tournament. So you see down below here, it's got chips to enter. That's how many chips come out of their Play Money account in order to enter this tournament. As I mentioned before, every player gets 10,000 Play Money chips per day. So you can put whatever you want here. You could just put 1,000 or 1,500, or you could put 10,000, but then everybody would just have one buy-in and wouldn't have any money for rebuys or add-ons unless they had built up some chips on previous days. The starting stack down below here is different. That's how many chips they get to start the tournament. So you might make them only pay 1,000 chips as the cost to enter the tournament, but they get a 10,000 chip starting stack to begin with. As you'll see, this note here says you can't modify the blind structure. So the blind structure is going to start with 1020, then go to 1530, then 2550, and so on and so on. So you'll want to pick a starting number of chips here and a minutes per level that corresponds to how long you want this tournament to go on. As you can see here, we recommend the default settings below. That would be 1,500 chips to start and 10-minute levels if you'd like your tournament to last an hour or two, which I think most people do. But you can modify that to whatever you want. Just keep in mind that if you pick 10,000 starting chips and 30 minutes per level, you're going to have a tournament that's going to last all day long. Seconds to act and time bank, all these other things down here, we've already covered them. So finally, I'm going to go back up again. Let's take a quick look at the sit and go options. Now remember, a sit and go tournament is a single table tournament. You don't have to pick what time it starts at because a sit and go automatically starts when the whole table is full. So again, here you've got the starting chips. You can configure that to your liking, minutes per level, seconds to act, and the time bank. And then down here, you can pick the number of players. So if you pick 6 here, that means when 6 players are seated, the tournament will automatically start. Now, while we're talking about the sit and go tournaments, I want to give you one tip. Something that can happen is, suppose you set up a sit and go tournament for 10 players. You want to meet your friends out there, and one of your friends doesn't show up. The problem is then you've only got 9 players and the sit and go will not start because it only starts when the table is full. Here's one thing you can do, and I'm going to go back to the live server here and I'm going to show you how to fix that problem. So what you would do is come over here to the sit and go tab and find your sit and go tournament, and let's suppose all 9 of you are sitting down now, but that 10th seat is not full. You click on your tournament here and you go up to the options menu. And you'll see here there's an option that says Start Tournament. Click on that and it's going to ask you for the start code. The start code is always 9999. Enter that start code and the tournament will start with however many players are currently seated. So you can do that if you ever want to start your sit and go and you weren't able to get a full table. So that's about all for this screen, and then you're going to click Submit and it's going to automatically, instantly create this table for you on our private server. And then just email your friends and tell them the name of the game and the game password and how to get to our website and create a free account and when to meet you there. And when they get there, they just click on that Private Live Games button and they'll be taken right there. Hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions, be sure to contact us, and we'd love to hear from you with any questions or suggestions. All right, thanks.